Capital Academy Recap, where entrepreneurs come to get their most pressing questions answered.
Thank you for joining us again at Capital Academy. You're used to seeing us in the TV studio advancing conversations with entrepreneurs seeking to raise capital, engaging in conversations with investors, and hearing best practices from industry professionals that support them. Recap is an extended version of Capital Academy with topics that are new, timely, and on the minds of business leaders and those that champion their causes. We do this through bringing you information about subjects that impact this ecosystem, making you aware of newsworthy information that may matter for your business through sponsor moments that open your mind, and finally, by giving you an opportunity to join the conversation by sending in your questions or comments. So, I'm Lorette Farris, host at Capital Academy, and on this segment, I'd like to welcome Blue Artists. And joining us from Blue Artists today, we have co-hosts Pierre Walters and Brittany Walters. I love your tagline, because I also know what you do, but build your difference. And at Blue Artists, your mission, and I'm going to say this, but absolutely I'm going to look forward to you guys correcting me if I'm wrong. You have a mission of helping to, a mission is to help powerful and visionary people. I love that. I'm a client, so I'm a powerful and visionary person. To help powerful and visionary people build distinguished brands that inspire and engage their growing audience. I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't have thought any less because of what it is that you do. But before we begin, Pierre, please, if you'd give our audience a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Lorette. It's a real pleasure to be here. Wow, we're really excited. Blue Artists is a creative agency with a focus on helping powerful, visionary people build their difference. And and what I love about our tagline, "Build Your Difference," is that it implies a sense of collaboration. It implies a sense of vision. And the goal is to carve out your space in the larger market, in the market where you intend to operate, and that's our passion. So we offer a variety of tools and a variety of solutions to help our clients be able to establish their presence and then to thrive in that market.
I love that. I want to hear about you.
Oh,
give us a minute. Who is Pierre Walters?
I'm the senior producer here at Blue Artists. This is a company that Brittany and I founded 10 years ago. And
in the Stone Ages.
Yeah. Back when the internet was still crawling out of the primordial slime. My role has evolved over the years. We were a video company initially. My role was to direct and produce just a variety of video projects for television. And we were able to earn some really fantastic recognition in that space. And but what ended up happening was the iPhone launched. And when the iPhone launched, it taught us that this space of video is going to become way more of a commodity than we could have ever imagined. And professionals like us needed to find another way to remain relevant in the new world that was to come. And so we actively began sort of re-envisioning our business and our brand when the iPhone launched. And so we slowly but surely sort of transformed into a broader creative agency. Our goal has always been the same. Back when we were creating videos, when we were just creating videos, our goal was to help entrepreneurs, small business owners, musicians, artists, to help people articulate their their mission,
Right.
and to present it in a way that not just makes them proud, but also inspires a larger audience.
Gotcha.
And so we take that same vision, but we use more tools now than just video.
Mm-hmm.
Websites, public relations, design, all sorts of photography, all sorts
Gotcha.
of fantastic tools.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, very cool. I love the way you went back to Blue Artist. We are going to pull out a Pierre. Brittany,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yes. Thank you, Lorette.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really great to be here on the show. As you guys already know, my name is Brittany Walters. The key focus that I have in particular with Blue Artists is on design, anything art related, whether you want to call it art direction, senior design producing, anything
Right.
of that nature. That's what I enjoy doing. I really like the process of working with other artists coming together to help someone take a vision and an idea and really like a life mission and like turn it into something visual,
Right.
where you can really attract someone's attention, make them feel a certain way, make them feel like what they want to achieve is also possible from
Right.
seeing what you're doing. And so I really find that that story that's in there, that's in design, is what I really enjoy kind of helping to pull out of our clients.
You know what I love when I'm speaking with anyone that do what you guys are doing? What I love about your space is the passion that comes out of the work that you do. You know, it's not like you're an accountant, and I have nothing against accountants, right? But what they do doesn't elicit the same kind of passion behind what it is that you guys do. And it so just came through in everything you both had to say about what it is that you do and who you are. So I am so pleased that you guys have decided to join us on today's segment. And I look forward to us being able to provide some information to entrepreneurs that are listening and entrepreneurs who's going to share this information with other entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Because understanding the whole marketing and branding side of the fence is instrumental for any of us in business. So
Right.
let's see how much of the subjects we can get through today. We have a little robust of a menu of information to do. And today there's a couple of things that I want to try to tackle. We are going to do the topic of the day. And today's topic is centered around questions to consider before starting a business, which for me mirrors considerations that companies need to have for doing branding campaigns. Okay? We're also going to, I'm going to put out there some news that I'd like our audience to follow. It was interesting for me this month. There were two particular articles that I came across. They were on different subject matters, but they felt like they were in the same space. How Goliaths, whether in fact or just mind only, work fervently to stymie the growth of the Davids. And so the two articles, there's one article which was about Comcast, and this Comcast tries to shut down pro-net neutrality site. And this is an article that was done by, and you know, if anyone hears me doing this, I hope they smile from ear to ear that this woman that they do not know who I am is here touting articles that they've done, okay? But I think it's information that makes sense for our ecosystem. But this article was written by Matt Smith at That's Matt Smith. And the other article is The Surest Sign You're Winning is When Goliath Takes a Swing at You.
Right.
Okay? And that was an article that I found at Both Sides, and it was written by Mark Suster. Anyone listening, any article that I speak of on the show, if you would like a link to the actual article, please go to our website, ibossinc.net, and you can navigate to the links library, pick up the links, and read the full article. And so Pierre and Brittany, though I know you guys may not have seen the article, but just the context of what I was saying, it was just very interesting to me that both of these are talking about how the big boys pay no attention to you when you're a little guy unless until they actually think there's some traction that is happening. And, you know, the one about the Goliath taking a swing, that one really resonated with me because of a personal issue that I'm dealing with right now. That you know,
There's some
there
Goliaths
is-
in your life.
Okay, and,
right.
but that's why I also wanted to make sure I made it very clear whether in fact or just in mind. So there's a Goliath in their mind that
Right.
yes, you know, because of what I do. But do you guys run into those sort of issues for companies you're working with in the whole marketing and branding space, that all of a sudden their door is being knocked on by a Goliath?
Let me, so the short answer is a resounding yes. But what I want to say is that the internet is the great equalizer, and that has got to be the scariest thing for some of these major corporations because and I feel like I'm going to go back into branding, but the little guy, someone who has a great idea and decides to step out into the market with great branding and the ability to attract an audience can compete legitimately against a Goliath or an entity that has been on the market for much longer, maybe with an old idea, and now here comes this new idea that people are really resonating with, and you know, it's the internet, the ability to just go on, make a website, get your message out there, articulate it. So yes, a lot of our clients are what we would call, maybe not disruptors, but a lot of our clients are people who are starting businesses, and with those businesses are really making some of these larger entities, these larger companies uncomfortable. Because their branding is better, their messaging is better, they've got a more passionate audience, and they're coming to the table with new ideas, and that scares some of these older entities.
And I think that's that you know, we get to smile, right, because our marketing dollars and advertising dollars are being spent much more efficiently when you're small, when you're starting out, than the big guy, and they can't change as quickly as we can. They have to go through many more things if they want to adjust their messages or anything of that nature, where we can.
You know, McDonald's. I don't know. Can I say that name here?
Yes,
okay.
you can.
So,
they're not paying us either, though. However,
so these Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Pepsi, these large. I'm just picking some large brands. They're the greatest challenge they have is how do we continue to remain relevant in a sort of postmodern social media world. And you know, I got to say this. I think McDonald's has picked a pretty good strategy. Let me tell you what they're doing now. So first of all, everyone knows, like, you know, a lot of these health food, a lot of like smaller companies now, like Chipotle, they're cropping up. They're serving you healthy food. That is the gimmick.
yes,
And people are flocking there because they're tired of these giant McDonald's. McDonald's has started a new campaign that I maybe it's not new, but I just noticed it, where they are actually now criticizing themselves. So McDonald's has started a campaign where they show you how they make their campaigns, and in the disclosure of how they make their campaigns, they're trying to reframe their position to be just as earnest, just as truthful, just as forthcoming as seemingly the little guy. So I mean, this is I think it's brilliant.
So brilliant marketing wise. However, how are they going to turn the message around that the burger you can take and put it in the closet for 10 years and pull it out and it's still the same burger?
You know, that
some things you don't speak to.
Yeah,
and
that
hopefully, you know, you just sat it over here on the side.
That's where that's why there's a serious power when it comes to a brand. Because if you can position your message it really almost doesn't matter what you're selling.
Gotcha.
Because
Right.
people can buy into anything.
Okay, guess what? We both love that. We all love that subject so much. That was not our topic for the day.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, right? But that's what I love about radio.
Yeah.
However, anyone listening, if you want to find out about that type of information and articles, again, please go to ibossinc.net, navigate down to the library links, and you can find any of those articles that you're looking for. So our topic of the day, which again is going to be just as interesting, is really about when you want to start a business, the questions you need to think about. And
Right,
again,
yes.
that's an article that I read, but when I was reading it, it so resounded to me for the exact same thing. If you're going to do a marketing, advertising, branding campaign, to me, these are some of the exact same questions that I think that people need to consider. Okay, I'm just going to quickly read off the 10 highlights, and then let's just see what we collectively think about them.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, they're saying number 1, why am I doing this? Number 2, what problem am I trying to solve? Number 3, can I realistically solve this problem better than others can? Number 4, who is my target customer? 5, how will prospective customers find out about my business? 6, why will customers choose my business over others? 7, I'm telling you, we're talking marketing, advertising, and branding, right? 7, who will I need beside me to succeed? 8, how much capital is really required? You know, I love that one. 9, how will I know if it's not working? Which is a question a lot of people won't ask themselves. And lastly, how can we become the company that would put us out of business?
Ooh, I
Right?
love that last
Right?
question.
That's a good question. Yeah. If I could just jump into this,
Please.
I really enjoy not just that these are 10 great questions, if not the most pivotal questions, but also the order in which they kind of flow the train of thought. I think before you can even get into the space of how do I become the company that takes myself out of business, or how can I raise capital, or any of those things, your first and foremost question and most solid question has to be, why am I doing this?
Yes.
What is happening? All these
Yes.
existential thoughts, why am I doing this? What problem am I trying to solve? Can I really solve this problem?
Right.
These are the core things that we present to our clients when they come to us, just to see if they've even kind of figured that out first,
Right.
to help us begin to really break down,
Now, do you
Yeah.
ask those questions from the standpoint of why are they in business, or do you ask those questions from the standpoint of what are they trying to accomplish with their marketing or branding?
both, I would say.
Do you really?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
it really has to be, honestly,
Gotcha.
why are they in business?
gotcha.
Because what I find is that, or maybe what we found,
Yeah.
is that when people come to us, they may have an idea of what they want their marketing and branding to look like,
Right.
and that idea is maybe too insular.
Gotcha.
It doesn't really
Gotcha.
take into consideration the
Right.
reality of
Right.
Right.
why they're actually
You
in
can
business.
put on the best campaign in the world, but if there's no substance to it,
Correct.
how
Right.
far is it going to go? Yeah.
And I think it's a challenge for a lot of our potential clients to remember. And this might sound kind of interesting, but you're not your customer. I mean,
Right.
of
Right.
course you believe in your product.
Absolutely.
Of course
Yes.
you think that this might be a great
Yes.
idea, but you consider someone who has options,
Right.
And it isn't vested
Why
like you are.
versus someone else?
Yeah, like
Yes.
why should they really consider
Yeah.
you if they have equal options with other entities?
Yeah.
And I think that way of thinking is very challenging.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
anyway.
And
yeah.
I'll tell you, for me, just like as you were starting, Brittany, so iBoss helps companies figure out, number one, what's the right kind of capital, because when I say we help companies in raising capital, everybody wants to raise capital, right?
Right.
But what's the right kind of capital for you? So similar to the same way you were talking and what you were just saying, Pierre, is just because you want capital, you believe your business plan is the best thing out there. You're the only one that can do. But you're and this. I'll try to stay as politically correct as I can. You're speaking to an audience of one, right?
I mean, honestly, it's like, we're ideally, if you were brought up in a very supportive environment, it's,
Right.
Your thoughts and ideas deserve to be heard.
Yes.
You deserve a chance.
You are, yeah.
You know, you participated, you get a participation
we
trophy.
call that a,
Yeah.
but yet,
I
I was
like
just going to say
that.
that
Yeah.
participation trophy. I just
But
saw
you
that
know what?
on social media.
That ain't how it be.
Right.
You don't deserve anything.
Right.
You have to really show people that what you're offering is valuable.
Right.
And that it can help them.
Now, hold on. I don't know if maybe you should really be saying that. Have we put a disclaimer on here about truth? It's okay for us to say truth, right?
So
To talk truth, right?
we have to. We have to talk truth.
We don't want any black bags going over our heads and getting
Okay.
chucked out to vans after the show.
No fake news. No fake news.
No
here.
fake news.
Okay.
Right, but yeah, well, sorry, you were just saying we have to.
It's just what you're bringing to the table has to be compelling,
Right.
and it has to be really thought through, and it has to move you,
Yeah.
and
Well-
yeah.
So I love that it has to move you, but I think to where Pierre was going, it has to move the person you want to sell it to.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Right.
It has
Yeah.
to move.
Because-
So
yeah.
it has to move others.
Yeah. It has to move
Yeah.
others.
Yeah. So really, what I find is that the job of, and I think you could probably relate to this big time with your clients, Loretta, is the job of the entrepreneur is just to know what they do really well. Just
Yes.
you know what
Yes.
you do really well. Know
Yes.
your vision.
Yeah.
Okay. Know that.
Yes.
And what we're going to help you do is understand who your actual audience is.
Right.
Who your community is.
Right.
We call that community
Right.
at Blue Artists. And then once we've established that, then we can bridge that gap and
Gotcha.
sort of connect that community to what you
So
consider
guys,
your
I'm
identity
sorry,
is.
but again, I think this too is a topic that we could probably talk about for at least the next hour. However, we don't have that time. So I absolutely love that topic of the day, and I think that those questions, and again, for the audience, if you want to see that article, navigate to ibosinc.net, go to the links library, and you can get the full article. But I think that's information that companies need to know. And while the article is designed for the questions that entrepreneurs should ask if they want to go in business, I think in so many areas it makes sense. Like with you guys, marketing, branding, advertising, those questions fit perfectly. For me, raising capital, those questions fit perfectly. And so I think for any entrepreneur, it would behoove them to sort of digest some of those thoughts.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we did great, and now we're going to try to accomplish the next leg of our mission here today. On the iBoss Inc. Recap program, we ask entrepreneurs to send in any questions they might have. And we receive the questions, and we like to try to get through a couple of them on the show. And, I would love to get you guys' thoughts on these particular topics. So I am going to, let's hear from the first entrepreneur. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Chris. I have 2 questions. The first is, I have a Facebook, a Twitter, and a LinkedIn account. Most of my business comes from referrals on social media, but keeping up with all of the conversations and daily postings is becoming too much for me, while still managing and growing my business. How can I better manage my social media presence while focusing on growing my business? And the second question is, I want to expand my audience, but I'm having a hard time reaching customers and clients outside of my initial network. What should I be doing to introduce a wider audience to my business and my services? Thank you.
Interesting questions, and I know it hits in the sweet spot for what it is that you guys do. Any thoughts for Chris?
Yeah, Chris, thank you for those questions. I think they're fantastic. The first one, dealing with social media, I definitely think that you really got to get real comfortable with the idea of delegating. You're growing a business. You're not growing another leg. Okay, you're not
As
growing
it turns
another
out.
limb. All right, you're growing a business, and a business is all about collaboration. It's all about team members. It's all about sharing a vision with other people, and that means that we've got to share. And in this task, we've got to share the load of social media, so that you can do what you do, which is focus on what it is your business is actually doing, and let someone who has a passion for social media, who has a passion for engaging directly with your audience through that particular medium in that particular way, let them represent you in the best possible light.
I like that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Pierre. Delegation is key to life. If you could do it everywhere, that'd actually be great. But in particular, social media, especially with you having so many accounts, I think Chris mentioned that they had 3 or 4 different
I think
accounts.
Facebook, Twitter,
And trying to keep track of
Right.
everything. Yeah, trying to respond to all the private messages and like keeping those conversations going and not getting them mixed up between which platform.
And the
Yeah.
larger your business gets, it's not like social media gets
Yes.
easier,
Smaller, right.
smaller, right?
Right.
I mean, it
Right.
just
Oh,
it
yes.
just keeps growing.
Right.
And it sounds like Chris is really on a roll. And so if they expect to continue to have success as it grows, delegation is going to be key, finding someone.
Before
can
I
do
go
that,
to the
yeah.
next question, along with that question, mine is so much that you read about with social media and your posting almost makes us entrepreneurs who want to be on social media feel that if we are not directly responding ourselves, then we can effectively grow our social media presence. Any
Sure.
comment on that?
Well, you certainly can. You certainly can. I mean, doing it yourself, you certainly. What you need is to not look at. Gotta not look at social media like it's a giant pit where you can't see the bottom. The first, as an entrepreneur, I think we all know or trying to realize that the first step to tackling any problem is to develop a plan, assess it, and develop a plan. And so I would say with social media, it's time, if you start to feel overwhelmed, it's time
Right.
to start developing a plan.
Gotcha.
Put it on paper.
Gotcha.
And start to look at the science behind your community on each of the different platforms that
Gotcha.
you're on. What are they responding to?
I gotcha.
You know, what is it that they're actually engaging with, and then focus your attention on what works.
Okay.
That would be my
Okay.
solution, my suggestion.
Anything
Yeah,
that-
finding a way to kind of take what feels really nebulous or giant and breaking it down into steps will take you very far.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the next question here. Ready?
Now they had a second question. Should we just answer? It
I'm
real
sorry.
Quick? Okay.
What was the second
Their
part?
second question was about, I think, just expanding their market.
Yeah.
directly.
Okay.
Expanding the
And I'm
audience.
just gonna answer real quick. Public relations. Get comfortable pushing out public relations.
Gotcha.
If you don't have a publicist, get one. If you don't know anything
Gotcha.
about publicists, we can help with public relations. But get comfortable announcing yourself and putting
Okay.
yourself on stage.
That's
Yeah.
not easy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not easy for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Even me, who's all over media these days.
Don't hide. Don't
but I
hide.
didn't
Lorette,
go
you are
in-
famous.
I didn't go in business to be in media, and now I turned around. I'm
Yeah.
like all over the place. Okay, so now that I like that, I need a publicist. Okay. All right, here's the next one.
Hello, my name is Kevin Presley. I am from Hilltop Properties, and my question is, what is a good resource to get data on the most effective mediums of marketing when it comes to social media? There are so many different mediums of communication using social media. It's time consuming for a small business to have a presence on all of them. So I'm trying to get a little background information on what would be the most effective mediums. Thanks.
Okay.
Now, Lorette, I want to share a product that we offer. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, because earlier we said to create a plan when
Right.
dealing with social media, and this second question about social media. What is a good resource to help, essentially to help you attack social media effectively? And I'm going to say again, it's about developing a plan.
Gotcha.
But his question was not so much what do I do as opposed to whom can I turn? What resource can I turn to? And so I would say we at Blue Artists offer a very comprehensive social media action plan service.
Gotcha.
It's free for all of our members. If you're not a member, it's an affordable service that can be purchased. But what it does is it allows us to to actually speak with the customer and take a look at the customer's literal social media networks, not in theory, but what's actually happening and what they would like to happen based off the networks they're developing.
And is that whether they have platforms or not? So does it take it from scratch through whatever you have? Let's help you to look at it to make this plan work.
It certainly it can be either or. If a customer is coming to the table with already a social media presence, then we start from there and we look at what's working and what isn't working in order to achieve what their goals are. A lot of people. We found a lot of people don't actually know what their goals are when it comes to social media. They just want to grow, but they don't actually have specific goals.
Because I think a lot of us don't really understand just what you're saying. What is the other side? We hear we're supposed to be there. We hear about each of the platforms, but I would imagine there's certain platforms that might not make sense for certain type businesses.
Correct. Yep.
And that I think the general consumer of the social media platforms don't know that.
Right. So the social media action plan is a really fantastic resource because once we've conducted the consultation, once we've developed the action plan and turned it back over to the customer, now they have it. And they can implement that plan themselves. They can give it to someone on their team. They can hire another person to come in and manage their social media using that plan. But the point is now they've got something. And that something I think is going to be their most important resource for their social media.
So Kevin Presley, there's your answer. Speak to Blue Artists and work through an action plan. And from that point, you can then determine what makes sense or not and how to implement it.
That's right.
Guys, we made it through 2 questions, and I know I'm going to get a hard stop in my ear in a moment if I keep going on this one. So, Pierre, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me as a co-host. Brittany, I so appreciate you joining me as a co-host.
Thank you.
And I am looking forward to seeing you guys back again for more segments of Capital Academy Recap. And to our audience, if there's anything that you heard on the show that you enjoyed, please let us know by liking, sharing, posting, any of those other names on social media. But also, if you think there's somebody else that needs to know some of the information you just heard, again, please make sure that you're plugging them in. You can catch us 24/7 on iBossIncTV.net. And as you heard, if you have a question, please send it in. You can find the link on our website to send in questions. If you want to read any of the articles, you can find the library link. So we just try to provide as much information as we possibly can to those in this early stage startup company ecosystem. So look us up, find the information, share the information, plug into the information. I'm Lorette Farris, host at Capital Academy Recap, and we look forward to you hearing us again. Talk soon.
If you have a pressing question, log on to ibossinc.net and click Send Voicemail. We'll look forward to hearing from you.